Today I rented my car out to a stranger. Allow me to explain. Before I bought a Tesla, I rented one on Turo to see if I really liked it, and I noticed that Teslas in general could charge a much higher price than cars of a similar class. If you've never heard of Turo, it's basically Airbnb for cars, so you can rent other people's cars or rent out your own to a stranger like I'm doing today. I rented one on Turo for myself because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to get the car, and I felt like 20 minutes of a test drive just wasn't enough for me to decide on it. So I rented one on Turo, and the guy I rented it from told me he made quite a bit just renting his car on Turo. And I think he even said he bought another. So he had one that he was just renting out to make money. This was like a year ago, so I don't totally remember, but it would make sense. He could fully pay that car off and more by just renting it out. So I decided to try it for myself. Today I'll be renting my car out on Turo and sharing what it was like, how much I made, and if it's worth doing. So this video is sponsored by Omaze, which is a company that supports different charities. So this time they're giving away a Tesla Model X. This isn't just any Model X though. They've added a custom matte white exterior and red leather accents inside, and they went for the upgraded 22-inch wheels. It also has ludicrous mode and full self-driving, so this is really top-notch, top-of-the-line Tesla. I don't think you can get any better than this. And as if this car wasn't enough, you also get $20,000 if you win to spend on whatever you want. This giveaway supports the Juju Foundation, which is a non-profit organization dedicated to the support of youth initiatives and lifting the spirits of those in need. This is the winner from the last Tesla giveaway. She won a Model X, and you can find on Omaze's website a ton of different winners. If you're looking to support some kind of charity anyway, this is a great way because you could also potentially win a Tesla. I'll have the link below. You can go to omaze.com/Shelby. Okay, let's get into it. I started by kind of throwing a listing together with just some photos that were screenshots from videos I already had. I set my listing price to $109, which was similar to the other Model 3s on Turo. A few days later, no one had rented my car yet. I realized I actually did need to take some better photos, not just some screenshots from a video, and I needed to lower my price because I didn't have any reviews. I was getting buried in the Turo algorithm. So first things first, my car is a little dirty, a little dusty. Yeah, you can see the dust on that. If someone rented that, they would be like, okay, ew. I like to think I'm pretty good at Photoshop, but there's just no photoshopping out that dust. It's gotta actually be cleaned. So I went to a car wash to get it ready for both its first booking and for some listing photos. I just went with a regular wash. It was $22.95. I'm sure you can also find less or more expensive car washes depending on where you are. This place was really fast. It took 15 minutes for them to wash it, so it was worth it for me to just pay for it. In total, it was $28 with a tip. So the car is now cleaned. They actually did that in only about 15 minutes, and it is in good shape. I think this is rentable shape. They vacuumed, they cleaned the outside. They really did everything that you need to do. Of course, you could wash the car yourself, but I figured that would take me an hour or more, and doing it in 15 minutes was just a lot more worth my time. Now it was time to take some photos and revamp my listing. Okay, so the Turo app wants you to take photos of the front, back, side, and inside of the car. I want these photos to look amazing, really sell the car, so I'm just gonna rearrange it so it's diagonal. So I took photos from every angle of the car. I used a DSLR because I have one, but I think you could totally get away with just using an iPhone. Just anything with a really wide lens is gonna look good, and this really only took me about 10 minutes to do. So I gave the listing a makeover with the new photos I took. See, I think that's a much better photo. It'll actually be really clear and in focus. So actually the day after I uploaded new photos and lowered my price a bit, I got my first booking. Oh my God, okay, so I got a booking for tomorrow. It's a Friday to Monday, just a long weekend. So this guy doesn't have any reviews, so that's a little concerning. But Turo is pretty new. It's not like Airbnb quite yet. You know, I think most people watching this probably don't have any reviews on Turo. He said him and his girlfriend are taking a trip and he's always wanted to experience a Tesla for his birthday. I love that. I'm gonna accept it. Get my car fully ready. Okay, so it's the day of the Turo rental. I'm a little nervous just because I don't want anything to happen to my car. The car inside is still very clean, but I'm gonna do some additional disinfecting. I also need to clean out the trunk and vacuum it. It's kind of nice because the guy is just gonna come meet me at my house, so I don't actually have to drive anywhere. So this should be pretty easy. He's never driven a Tesla before, so I'm honestly kind of excited to show him how to do it. So I just did some last minute things. So the car wash place didn't clean my trunk because I had a bunch of stuff in it, so I just had to vacuum out all this sand myself. I dropped the vacuum and it kind of broke. It will not go back together. It's a cheap Amazon FBA product, honestly, so I won't miss it. I'm almost done disinfecting and really cleaning the car. Gonna put some hand sanitizer in there for them. And I also just did some more disinfecting from the Turo guidelines for the illness. I had to take this course thing. It took 15 minutes. And so I just followed their guidelines to make sure everything was super clean for them. And lastly, I had to get my charger out of the garage and make sure it was ready in case they needed it. So the full amount of time for me to prep the car, including going to a car wash and then doing a little bit myself, was probably a little over an hour. Turo has you take a bunch of photos of the car to kind of show what it was like before the rental, so I just did that. And now we're fully ready for the handoff. I gave them a quick tutorial on the car because it does drive different than other cars, and then it was just all theirs for the weekend. All right, I just did the handoff. I gotta say, it's so weird to have someone driving my car. I'm just like, please take care of it. If I wasn't a YouTuber and didn't make videos, I definitely would not do this because it's just the peace of mind. Unless I had 2 Teslas, then I guess I would. But I do feel good knowing there's insurance and I met the people. I kind of like showed them how to use it. It should be fine. I think everything will be fine. And they were super nice. I think they'll enjoy it. It should be a fun time for them. The first day of the rental, I really was like, oh my God, what did I just do? I hope nothing happens. So I've really never used this until now, but you can see on the Tesla app where your car is and how fast it's going. I didn't know you could see how fast it's going. So they've definitely adjusted to the LA lifestyle, you know, going like 80 on it. I mean, I'm not worried. I don't think I'm really gonna be checking where they're at, but I might check it once a day to make sure they didn't drive it to like another state, but I'm sure it's fine. So I know this is a little weird that you can track where your renters are. In the Turo guidelines, you are allowed to do this, and with a Tesla, it just does it anyway. And I will say it gave me peace of mind that I could check and make sure, you know, they hadn't started driving it across the country or it wasn't at an auto body shop or something like that. Just know if you rent a Tesla on Turo, the owner can see where you go. Honestly, it was really only the first day that I was all nervous about it. As the weekend went by, I really didn't even think about it too much because it was just out of my hands now. And the time really flew by fast. Before I knew it, it was time to get my car back. All right, so I just got the car back and let's take a look at the condition that it's in. As you can see, it's in great condition. I looked pretty thoroughly. I'm not sure if this little scratch thing was here before or what that is even. I don't know. I mean, I could have done that. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, it looks perfectly fine. Nothing wrong. Even the inside here, really clean. They didn't even leave any garbage or anything like that, which technically they could have. I was gonna clean it anyway. I mean, you never know what condition you're gonna get it back in. I was so relieved to get my car back in good condition because you hear those horror stories and you never know, but in my case, this first time renting it, everything's fine. Like it actually, I'm surprised. I thought they would maybe leave a little garbage behind or something, but no. It looks like when I gave it to them pretty much. As far as the checkout process, they just drove the car back to my house. We both took photos to document if there was any damage, which there wasn't. So this just took about 10 minutes, then they were on their way. Naturally, I think everyone is nervous for their car to be trashed or ruined, and it's totally possible. There are some crazy stories out there, but really most people looking to rent a Tesla are really just excited to experience and drive the car and don't have intentions of wrecking it. Now, what you're really wondering, how much I made. All right, let's talk money. My car ended up renting at $90 per day for 3 days, so the trip price was $270. Because Turo provides insurance, they take 30%, so I was left with $189. So really per day, I only made $63 renting out my Tesla, which honestly, I don't think is too bad. You could also factor in the cost of the car wash and you'd get to $161, but I would have gone to get my car washed anyway, so I don't know if I'd count this. So $189 renting it out, $90 per day, that's pretty good, but it's actually kind of on the low end for what you can rent a Tesla out as. Keep in mind, this was my first time renting ever. I had no reviews. You really had to search to find my listing. So I lowered my price a bit so I actually got a renter. All the other Model 3s on Turo were at least $100, like $110. So I upped mine to $110 and just to see if like anyone would actually book it. So would I recommend renting on Turo, and would I do this again? It's a little more complicated. So overall, my experience renting out my Tesla on Turo was really great. The renters were super nice. It was actually kind of fun showing them the car because they were excited to be driving a Tesla. I made a bit of money and nothing bad happened to my car. Would I do this again? No. I don't think I would. Firstly, this is my only car, so renting it out just would not make any sense unless I was on a trip or something like that. In the case of going on a trip though, I just don't want that added stress of worrying about my car. You know, what if something happens to it? I mean, really, the whole time my car was rented out, the first day especially, I was nervous something was gonna happen. It just is on your mind. You don't have that peace of mind, so that's kind of the price you pay. Really, the only scenario that I think it makes sense to do this is if you have two cars. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you have a brand new car and if something happened to it, you would be really devastated. I waited a year to make this video for a reason. I've had the idea for a long time, but I knew within the first year if something happened to my car, I would be super sad. If you are down to take this risk though, you can make a decent amount of money for not that much work. If I rented out this car 20 days of the month at that $63 rate that I rented it, you'd make about $1,200. That's more than double the payment that you would make if you financed a Tesla. It would really only take renting it about a week a month for it to fully pay for itself. So I only kept 70% because I did their insurance plan. You can keep as little as 60 and have everything extremely insured, or you can keep as much as 85%, but you're gonna have a really high deductible. So if something does happen, you're gonna have to pay $2,500. So that is my experience renting my car on Turo. What do you guys think? Would you rent your car on Turo? It's obviously not exclusive to Teslas or anything. Anyone can rent their car out on Turo. I just noticed that Teslas go for way more than like maybe they should compared to other cars in that price range. In a lot of ways, it does seem worth it because you can make a good amount, but you do have that risk there. Like you don't know what could happen. Since it's my primary car, I won't be renting mine out anymore, but it really actually was a good experience for me. So could be a good way for somebody out there to make money or subsidize the cost of their Tesla. As always, if you want to order a Tesla, I will have my 1,000 miles of free supercharging linked down below. I will also have Omaze down below. Okay, that's gonna be it for today. Hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!